Hey, everyone, and welcome to the regular city council meeting. The time is now 5:30. We're going to call this meeting to order, and we will take roll call. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Gama,
Here.
Councilmember Lopez,
Here.
Councilmember Perez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hernandez.
Here.
And Mayor McQueen Lejeune.
Here. So we'll now hear the public comments related to the closed session. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Madam Clerk, are any public comments?
No public comments for closed session.
Great, thank you. Now, City Attorney, please read the closed session item into the record.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we'll be going into closed session for conference with labor negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The agency designated representatives are James Vega, the city manager, Charles Peretz, the deputy city manager, and Frank Lee, the human resources risk manager, to discuss labor negotiations with Employee Association SEIU, Service Employees International Union 721.
Great, thank you. Do any members of the council have any conflicts of interest to disclose for the listed closed session items? No? Thank you. Well, we will now recess to closed session. The time is now 5:31. Good evening and welcome to the Port Hueneme City Council meeting. It is now 6:34. We're going to call this, or recess from closed session. Let's see. So let's move to the flag salute. Councilmember Perez. Lopez.
Right hand over your heart. Repeat after me. Ready, begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now to Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gama,
Here.
Councilmember Lopez,
Here.
Councilmember Perez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hernandez,
Here.
and Mayor McQueen LeJean.
Here. We'll now move to our inspirationals.
All right.
By Councilmember Gama this evening.
All right. I absolutely love doing inspiration. And take a look around the room. There's 197 inspirational pieces for you delivered to us by our elementary school population. And some really good pieces of artwork there. Can I have my PowerPoint, please? All right. Here we go. So first part of my inspiration has to do with American space travelers. And if basically there's a zero chance that anyone in this room will become a space traveler. In fact, I did the calculation there. It's 0.000003 chance, basically zero. But in July 20th, my dad's birthday, 1969, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. More recently, Armistice gave us these beautiful photos, which I'm being told were taken by an iPhone, right? And the thing is, if everybody on planet Earth could take a space trip and look back at the Earth, I don't think we would have problems, because it's just mind-boggling to think about how is Earth floating in the middle of darkness. And of course, they went around the moon and they delivered these beautiful photographs from the spaceship. And it just, if you think about this too long, it's too much to comprehend. But they are stunning photos taken by iPhone, I'm told. And there's the blue marble Earth. Another spectacular photo, again, taken by an iPhone. So there's another earthly wonder here in the United States and beyond. And 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough with my iPhone to encounter the Aurora Borealis. We were on a cruise ship. This is at 10:30 at night. I took this photo, and I took every photo from here on out that I'm going to show you. Just amazing. We were so lucky to be able to stumble into this, because you can't plan to see this. You just get lucky, and your iPhone. This is at the top of the ship. I wanted to show you that the captain turned off all the lights, and everybody rushed to the top, and for the next 2.5 hours, it was quite amazing. This is from our cabin, from our room. And again, it just wouldn't stop. The show wouldn't stop. The one on the right, that's my favorite one. And if you look closely, you can see the stars in the back. You know, it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what the city of Port Hueneme has to offer. So first of all, artist, local, David Caswell, he sent this to a number of us yesterday, and I think it's awesome. And I think, hey, you know what? Maybe we could adopt this into something. But if y'all know David, he's a wonderful person, and he provides us with inspiration all the time. So anyways, I like to look at sunrises and sunsets, so I thought, well, let's inspire you with some Hueneme sunrises and sunsets. These are three different, one's a sunrise, these are two sunsets. These are, again, all taken with my phone. This is a sunrise on the parking lot C, city of Port Hueneme. Sunrise, parking lot C, the colors are amazing. And the thing about sunrises is you have to get up about 25 minutes before sunrise and look out the window. And if you see popping colors, you know to grab your iPhone and run down to the beach. If you don't see popping colors, just go back to sleep. So that's what I do regularly. This one, I did a little filtering on it, but it's extremely beautiful. That's a sunrise. sunrise and sunset. This one's pretty cool, seeing all the people walk into the lighthouse on a daily basis. So in the city of Port Hueneme, we are blessed to live here. It really is a wonderful place to live. And if you don't think we're blessed, well, I have a picture that's going to make you think that we are blessed. This is Silver Strand Beach. I snuck it in there. They're okay. It used to be Hueneme, by the way. This one, I love taking photos with the lifeguard towers in it. And then, of course, there's our beautiful memoriam to the Alaska 261 families. And this is the one that tells you we are blessed to live here. And some people say, no, you doctored that. No, this is what I walked into one morning. And so if you ever think you're not blessed, we are blessed. And so if you want to get inspired, did I say expired? If you want to be inspired, every Saturday we do a beach cleanup. You could come grab a bucket, and you'll never know what you're going to see. And, it is amazing. We come across beautiful sights, and we also pick up trash. And so if you ever want to come and do a litter bit with us, every Saturday, 8:30 a.m., we meet at the Alaska 261 Memorial. And then, I got this new dog, and he's kind of like Alexis. He listens to me, and he knows my things. And let me show you what he's been up to. He's a chef, he's a surfing dog, and he even got on stage with Justin Bieber, so I don't know what the heck. But anyways, we live in a wonderful place. There's plenty in our city to inspire us. All you have to do is get up at the crack of dawn and go watch a sunrise and maybe even a sunset. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Councilmember Gama. We're now going to move to closed session report. City Attorney, please provide the closed session.
There were no reportable actions tonight, Madam.
Great, thank you. So we'll move to public comments. Do we have any public comments not related to our agenda items, Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have one public comment from Becky Bruning.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, staff, audience. I'm here tonight representing Rokapi Outdoors. We are having our annual Surf and Turf fundraiser the 31st of this month from 4 to 7 at Channel Island Yacht Club. We'll have about 40 tickets left, so if you haven't bought yours and you want one, come and see me. Thank you.
Thank you. So move to our agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great. Do we have any members of council who have a conflict of interest for any items on the agenda this evening?
I may have an issue with number 12 because I am in the application process,
Yes.
so I won't vote for that. I won't vote on that topic.
Okay. Great. Yeah, there's an application for him in the veterans.
Yeah, he's welcome to recuse himself from that if he'd like to. It doesn't sound like a financial conflict subject to FPPC recusal, but still you could recuse yourself for bias purposes.
If it's up to you.
Meaning you don't have to leave the room during the item like you would for a financial.
Okay.
Conflict.
Well, then if that's the case, then I will stay on.
Great, thank you. So we'll move to our first presentation, Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week Proclamation. So we welcome Chief Federico to come to the podium. And while he is making his way up, Mayor Pro Tem will read the proclamation.
Good evening, everyone. I have the honor of reading our proclamation for the Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week, which is May 15th, 2026, and May 10th through the 16th, 2026. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls is Police Week, and whereas there are approximately 900,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Port Hueneme Police Department, some of them who are here tonight, And whereas the members of the Port Hueneme Police Department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas it is proper that we express our gratitude for the dedicated service and courageous deeds of the men and women of the Port Hueneme Police Department and for the contributions they have made to the security and well-being of all people in our community. And whereas over 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and have been killed in the line of duty, including sworn officers in the county of Ventura. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas May 15, 2026 is designated as National Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty and their families, now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Port Hueneme formally designates May 10th through May 16th, 2026 as Police Week, and May 15th, 2026 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in the City of Port Hueneme, and publicly salute the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation, proclaimed this 4th day of May 2026.
Great, thank you. Over to you, Chief Federico.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As we approach National Police Week to honor our fallen peace officers and recognize our current peacekeepers who are actively serving our communities today, I want to thank our Port Hueneme community for their incredible support to your Port Hueneme PD team. As I've stated before, public safety is teamwork. It's reflected here in Port Hueneme in our community efforts and our interaction here with our community. It's important that the dedication and sacrifices that are made by your team at Hueneme PD and our partners in law enforcement and neighboring agencies are recognized and not forgotten. Your well-trained and experienced Hueneme police officers are dedicated, and they carry out their duties in our community with respect, compassion, and courage. Our community's public safety and livability are in a good place right now. We must always understand that the role of our peace officers is essential in our community in order for others in our community to activate and work in their essential roles. I appreciate our incredible team at Port Hueneme PD, and I appreciate the incredible support we get from our community. Thank you. We take this moment to give some exciting news. We've brought on another lateral police officer here to Port Hueneme PD. And with that, I will bring him up here. While I talk about you, Austin. Austin Cravens is our newest officer here at Port Hueneme PD. And he comes to us with experience. Austin has roots here in Ventura County, where much of his family continues to reside. Austin began his law enforcement career with the Simi Valley Police Department and later served with the Beverly Hills Police Department before coming here to us. In addition to his law enforcement role, and I love this when I can bring vets and active reserves on, Austin serves as a staff sergeant in the California Air National Guard at the Channel Islands Air National Guard Station. He's close to home now. With over 9 years of service, supporting contingency operations and joint force environments across Europe and the Pacific. Austin first developed his interest in public service at a young age, inspired by the service of his grandfather, a retired lieutenant with the Los Angeles Police Department and the United States Navy. He later pursued that path as a law enforcement explorer, building a foundation of responsibility and service that continues to guide his career. Outside of his duties, Austin enjoys staying active and spending time with family. His interests include kayaking, biking, and scuba diving. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest Hueneme officer, Austin Cravens.
Thank you all for being so welcoming, like Chief just said. So with me today, actually, I have some members of my family. So my grandfather, as previously stated, retired LAPD and Navy. Behind him's my mom, of course, recording. That's Jenna. And then my grandmother, Linda, and girlfriend, Giselle, who's closer to the front here. I just wanted to say thank you all for having me. I look forward to serving the community. Obviously, some familiar faces already with City Council, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you better. So thank you again.
Great, thank you. Any words from our council members?
Awesome. Well, welcome to Port Hueneme. I'm Air National Guard. Your father was in the Navy?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Love it. We're a big family here. We're a big military town, so awesome to have a veteran here as well. Thank you.
Fantastic to be here. Thank you, sir.
I just want to say thank you for your service and thank you for choosing to come to Hueneme and for your family's service, as it's not just you who makes the service and makes the sacrifice. And we appreciate you being part of this group. We are very pro-police council and have been for many years. We're a big pro-police community, so I think you'll find yourself very welcomed here. And you have a lot of great mentors in the back and a lot of great people to show you around the city who have a lot of experience here. So we thank you for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think you do have a knack for public speaking. That was very nice. But thank you for choosing our city, and look forward to seeing you out there and being a part of the community and getting to know the youth of our community and doing all the wonderful things that our police department does already. And the fact that you're experienced, Navy, all that is just icing on the cake. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for being here along with your family, and thank you for your service through the Air National Guard. It's very impressive record that you bring with you. And I want to just say hello to your dad. I may have crossed paths with you many, many years ago when I worked with LAPD very closely in the early 80s. So thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, I'll just say ditto. Thank you. We're so glad that you chose us. You will find the city of Port Hueneme to be a wonderful city to work in. While it might be small, it's very engaged, and we really, I believe, respect and have great concern for our police department. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, great. We're going to take a picture.
Sir.
Come on up.
Yeah, invite them up.
One with Officer Page and his family, one with all the officers.
One, two, three. Can we get you maybe on this side? Oh yeah, squeeze in, guys. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
We're going to move to the next item, the 2025 American Public Works Association Ventura County Chapter Project of the Year for the City of Port Hueneme, Ventura Road Sewer Force Main emergency repair. We're going to just say welcome to Mr. Andrew Grubb, the president of the American Public Works Association, Ventura County chapter.
Good evening, Mayor McQueen, Luke-John, and council members. My name is Andrew Grubb, 2026 president of the APWA Ventura County chapter, and I'm pleased to be joined by the city's Public Works Director, Fred Camarillo, who will be receiving this award on behalf of the city. I'm here tonight on behalf of APWA, a nationwide organization of over 30,000 professionals dedicated to improving public infrastructure in communities across the United States. Our local chapter has close to 300 members and is one of the most active in the county. As we prepare to celebrate National Public Works Week, we want to recognize the dedication and impact of all of those involved in public works. This year's theme, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community, reminds us that every project, seen or unseen, powers the connection between service and the people it supports. The Ventura Road Sewer Force Main Emergency Repair Project stands out as an exceptional example of innovation and collaboration under pressure. Faced with a critical infrastructure failure, Public Works staff successfully coordinated with multiple agencies and stakeholders to deliver a seamless solution. By utilizing trenchless technology and repurposing existing infrastructure, the team avoided a major excavation along a heavily traveled corridor. The project was completed in just 57 working days, while maintaining continuous sewer service and minimizing disruptions to traffic, businesses, and the surrounding community. It was clear that the success of this project was made possible through the leadership of the Port Hueneme City Council, Public Works Department staff, and the consultants and contractors who all contributed to its success. With that, I'm pleased to present the 2025 Project of the Year to the City of Port Hueneme for the Ventura Road Sewer Force Main Emergency Project.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff and audience. We made up a little slide there as a reminder. I know we went through a lot of informational discussions while it was happening, and although it took 57 working days for the project to be completed, it took about 11 months for the entire thing because we had to acquire rights to the pipeline and all of that. It was a little bit nerve-wracking at times, hoping that we didn't have another failure on the line while we were working on all of that. And we have our Deputy Director, Charles Cable, here, and our Principal Engineer, Ray Gutierrez, who both were instrumental, along with all the other names up there listed under our personnel. We would not have got it done without everybody's participation and cooperation, including our partners that are listed there on the left, who all had a vital piece in making sure that this got done as quickly, as safely, and with as minimal impact and cost as we could possibly get. So on behalf of the department, I am very pleased to accept this award.
Great, thank you.
Fred, hats off to Public Works. As a director, that was a non-disruptive to the community. Brilliant engineering on parts of, using an existing old infrastructure and, feeding it through that system and collaborating with the other agencies to get, rights to those lines. Hats off, man. Good job to staff. Please tell them.
Thank you.
Yes, I just want to say congratulations and well-deserved, and, we're in great hands with you at the head of Public Works, and all the team that you have has been such a great asset to our community. But I want to ask, has Public Works ever won or received an award like this in all your years you've been here?
Not since I started.
Oh, well, then, well-deserved. Good job.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because I remember it being a young person and seeing clay pipes go in in the ground, right? And you remember you'd see them stacked up, and it's like, oh, wow. And then to think that they've been in the ground 40 years and, you know, semi-working or whatever. But I'll never forget the day City Manager Vega and I we'd like to walk on our 101s, and we were walking by this big hole, and like took down in there, and you could see the pipe that was laid in, the clay pipe, and it really, really was a sight to see. And so, yeah, congratulations. How do you even come up with the idea? It's just a great thing, and I'm glad you're successful at it and got it done.
Thank you, Mr. Camarillo, for your good work, and thank you to your staff also. I love the Public Works infrastructure and the intrigue and the drama when you have situations like this. This is pretty incredible. I remember the one before this was Perkins Road, the big, what was it?
There was a water line.
Water line that burst there. But a lot is involved in that. And to me, it's just intriguing how you get that pulled together and fixed and made safe for our residents. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, just really quick, I always think about when the council is being thanked for things. I understand it. I understand the decision-making, but we all know, I think, that the Public Works Department and the employees and our city manager are responsible for this award. Yes, the council made some decisions to move forward, but any of the work had nothing to do with us. And so we are so excited that we have folks like you and the other members of Public Works that are able to do all the things that we need to get done in the city. So thank you so much. And it's always wonderful to hear the recognition that are being given to the employees of the city of Port Hueneme. So I'm proud that our folks are doing such a great job that they're being recognized. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to just kind of congratulate the Public Works Department and to answer Councilmember Perez's question. I've never received one of these awards, so I think they are pretty rare. And yeah, I know. I was like, we're gonna have to fight over whose office that goes in for sure. But I wanted to thank the department. I think sometimes they are so good at these things that they seem routine. But if you remember, this was not routine. I lost sleep initially when we thought we were gonna have to shut down major streets for months at a time, and maybe potentially businesses during the summer, and all these different things. And the Public Works team went back and came up with another plan, a better plan, and implemented it, and made this happen. So I always like to highlight those moments where it feels like the expectations are so high that the miracles seem routine, but this was kind of a miracle, and our Public Works team did great work on it. So I just wanted to thank them.
And like Councilmember Lopez said it the best, please go back and tell your employees, that we so much appreciate the work that they put in. I'm sure there were some late nights as well.
Oh,
and
yes.
so just tell them that we said thank you.
I will do that. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
One, two, three.
Okay, and for our final presentation, the Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation, will we have Executive Director Roberta Griego of NAMI Ventura County come to the podium, please? And while she's making her way, Councilmember Perez is going to read the proclamation.
Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2026. Whereas there is a proven connection between good mental health and overall personal health. And whereas, according to the World Health Organization, over 1 billion people suffer from a mental illness. And whereas suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the United States and the second leading cause of death among people ages 10 to 44, and 90% of people who die by suicide have an underlying mental illness. Excuse me. And whereas only 2 out of 3 people with a serious form of mental illness seeks treatment for his or her mental illness. And whereas good mental health is critical to the well-being of our families, communities, schools, and businesses. And whereas public education and civic activities can encourage mental health and help improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental illness. And whereas people with mental illness recover if given the necessary services and support in their communities. And whereas every citizen and community can make a difference in helping end the silence and stigma that for too long have surrounded mental illness and discouraged people from getting help. And whereas the City of Port Hueneme Police Department and agencies throughout the County of Ventura will strive for community awareness and education by taking part in various events throughout the month of May, including NAMI Walks Ventura County, to create awareness and support for those dealing with mental illness. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Port Hueneme hereby recognizes and proclaims the month of May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. We call upon increase in public understanding of the importance of mental health and to promote identification and treatment of mental illness.
Thank you. Great, thank you. Over to you for some words.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, my dear friend, Madam Pro Tem Chair Laura and Misty, and members of the council and the audience and all the other staff. I want to thank you on behalf of the NAMI Ventura County Board of Directors and myself as the Executive Director. I want to say to you that NAMI Ventura County this year is our 45th year anniversary of being in this county. Serving people, families of loved ones and their families and friends and things that suffer with a mental illness. I really have to say a big thank you to the City of Port Hueneme and mostly to your councilwoman, Misty. She is definitely been a steward of NAMI of Ventura County. She is a teacher, facilitator for us, and certainly I have to thank all of you sitting up there for the generosity that you gave us quite a few years back, having our NAMI walk here in your beautiful city, where we walked along and saw the Channel Islands and the memorial and things. So I have to say as well that your police department is very well a steward of NAMI. We did get an innovation grant for about $100,000 a couple of years ago, and we did make a NAMI directory for your officers. Will be receiving them to carry with them, where they can go and tear out if they're on a call, to give direction to NAMI, to our family support groups, as well as all of our classes and things as well. So again, I really want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us. Our NAMI walk this year, it fluctuates between May and this year it's going to be in October. Still don't know when. It probably will be about the third week of, and don't know where just yet. But right now we are experiencing several challenges at NAMI, and I think all nonprofits are right now. The volunteerism is really down. People, when they really want to go and help out, because NAMI programs are all free of charge to everyone that we offer our services to. So the only way that we receive our money is through our annual NAMI walks and the generous donations that we do get from the citizens of Ventura County. Things are tough out there right now with everybody in what's going on in this country, and the word donating is kind of a little thing of the past, but we're still here and we're still striving. So I just, again, want to say thank you. I appreciate all of you for what you do, and thanks.
Thank you so much. You want to go down?
Can I give you this one too? Yeah. Okay, so just do that. No, thank you very much. Yeah, good.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then give me 1 second so I can get her phone. 1, 2, 3.
We will now recess from the city council meeting and call to order the Housing Authority regular meeting. The time is now 7:10. Madam Clerk, please take roll call.
Member Gama,
Here.
Member Lopez,
Here.
Member Perez,
Here.
Vice Chair Hernandez,
Here.
and Chair McQueen-Lejeune.
Here.
And please let the record reflect that Member Brown is absent.
Great, we will now hear public comments not pertaining to the items on the agenda. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, we'll move to the consent calendar. Are there any public comments for the consent calendar?
No public comments for consent.
Great, thank you. We will now move to the Housing Authority consent calendar. The items will be enacted in one motion unless someone chooses to pull an item. Is there a motion and a second to approve?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second?
Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Are there any authority member reports? Nope. Okay, we will now adjourn the Port Hueneme Housing Authority regular meeting. The time is 7:11, and the next meeting will be Monday, June 1st at 6:30. So we'll now reconvene the City Council regular meeting. The time is 7:12. We'll move to the consent calendar for the regular meeting. Are there any public comments to the consent calendar?
No public comments.
Okay, great. Excuse me. So we will take, sorry.
Motion.
Hold on, let me, sorry, my mind is stirred up for a second. So the consent calendar will be enacted in one motion unless there is a request to pull an item. Are there any requests to pull items? Councilmember Lopez?
Item 5 and 7.
Item 5 and 7. Anyone else? If there is no one else, is there a motion to approve 1 through 4, 6, and 6,
So moved.
Second.
8, 9, 10? First and second? Is that still correct? First? Second?
Second.
Okay, I wanted 8, 9, 10 to be added.
Yes.
That's okay. Any discussion about these items? No discussion, consent calendar. Madam Clerk, please take.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Lopez, your pulled items?
Yes, so I want to go to, we'll go to item 5 first, the award of contract for professional auditing service. So in the report, it was unclear whether we are establishing a new auditor for the city or a renewal. So I want to just put it on record. This is a new auditor?
So this is a new auditor, and we had come to council a few months back, and we had noted that it's good practice to change auditors every 3 to 5 years typically. So we had the prior auditor for, I think, much longer than that. I don't remember offhand, I think 6 or 7 years. And so this was to get a new auditor to replace that auditor.
So do we have a transition plan from the previous auditing firm to ensure no delays?
Yes, our finance department is working with the auditors on transitioning. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Last question. There is a 10% contingency trigger. Knowing that with the consent, who's the arbitrator on that? Like who blesses that?
So with the council's approval tonight, it would authorize me to approve up to a 10% contingency. So it's me working with the finance director. And I will just note, we recommended that because the firm selected is so much lower than any other firm, that even with the 10% contingency, just in case there was something missed perhaps, they'll still be the lowest bidder.
Got it.
I have a question regarding, you said there was no disbursements to the auditor because they didn't meet certain,
There was some recent service issues with the prior audit.
oh, so it's a prior one. Okay, got it.
And
Understood.
so that's related, but we were doing this regardless, but we
Okay.
went through the new auditor hiring process.
Got it. Thank you.
And I'm curious as to how much savings are we looking at?
Offhand, I believe that it is slightly less expensive than our prior auditors, but we can get that number to council. I will just note, of the 4 bid, it's the one that we chose is substantially less. So if you compare it to the other bids, it's $20,000 to $25,000 less. So.
And then the total cost gets distributed amongst the enterprise funds and the general fund. And
Yeah, the costs get allocated out to the departments. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Any more questions regarding number 5? Is there a motion and a second to approve number 5?
Move to approve.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great.
So-
Mr. Lopez, yeah.
Item 7, ratification of expenditures for emergency repair appropriation for controller cabinet and battery backup. So in the staff report, it does talk about restitution for the $37,000. That was no fault to the city. Just for the public awareness, do we have any information on how this will play out?
Yeah, we do seek restitution. So if there is like an accident and somebody hits a piece of city equipment and it causes damages, we do seek restitution. So on this particular item, which was car hit our controller cabinet and the battery backup, and it'll cost approximately $37,000. We have started the restitution process, which typically can take up to 6 months. And so that's in progress. And, police report was taken and the restitution process has started. The staff report explains that because this hit the cabinet and the battery powered backup, we did want to fix it immediately rather than, if it wasn't so time sensitive, we sometimes would wait for the restitution to come in, but this one we wanted to fix first and then we'll seek the restitution.
So my question is, do we have a timeline, like how quick that we're gonna move on this?
So our HR and risk manager is already working on it, but it could take up to 6 months to go through that whole process and actually get a check cut.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
repairing the,
so we have already repaired the controller cabinet and battery backup system. So this is a ratification. We did the emergency repair. This is the ratification.
okay. No further questions.
Great. Councilmember Gama?
So my claim adjuster mentality just clicked. So did the person have insurance?
I believe so.
Did they have adequate limits of insurance?
That I'm not sure.
I know that we're not in the practice of discussing claim matters, but
This is
Just
where
c-
good property insurance is helpful when you
Yeah,
have
and-
property coverage.
And our team is working through that process now.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? If not, is there a motion and a second to approve?
Move to approve?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. We're going to move to item number 11, a public hearing to introduce the ordinance amending the Port Hueneme Municipal Code to implement restrictions on parking of oversized vehicle. Madam Clerk, do you have proof of publication as required by law and a complete file of reports and exhibits?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Great. Will staff please present the report?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So the item on the agenda for public hearing today is an introduction of an ordinance to implement restrictions on parking of oversized vehicles. Our city code currently has some rules related to oversized vehicles, but it's not in a manner that has been able to be enforced. I believe offhand, I think it's by weight is what the current code limits are, which is not necessarily the best practice for us and most enforceable. So we had looked at neighboring cities. We had worked with our traffic engineer recently as part of some of our parking analyses, and we had worked together on an oversized vehicle restriction. You may recall that this topic came up more in depth recently when we had our bicycle lane review with the council a couple months back. I think it was March 2nd. And we showed that we had gone out and gone through the bike lanes and found that large RVs and other large trucks were blocking the bike lanes, which then would cause bicyclists to have to go around them and into the driving lane, which was a potential hazard. So at that time, we had gotten direction from council to come back with an ordinance to modify that. And so we put together such an ordinance. The ordinance being proposed defines an oversized vehicle by the length and width and height of the vehicle rather than by weight. So any vehicle that exceeds 25 feet in length, 80 inches in width, or 82 inches in height would be considered an oversized vehicle. And a typical pickup truck does not meet those requirements. And in fact, I think a heavy-duty Ram or Silverado is typically about 20 feet, for example. So it doesn't include pickup trucks. It's not intended to impact pickup trucks. What the ordinance defines oversized vehicles in that manner, and then it prohibits oversized vehicles from parking or being left standing on city streets. So not on private property, but on city streets, unless an exception applies, and the exceptions are those limited situations like somebody loading or unloading a trailer, for example, somebody making emergency repairs for less than 24 hours to a trailer or a camper, a delivery that is loading or unloading a public emergency vehicle, and this ordinance also creates a permit process whereby if a resident wanted to obtain a permit for a short-term basis, they could do so as long as they're a resident of the city and they meet certain criteria. So it really would help address some of the parking issues we've talked about by ensuring that more parking spaces are available to the residents, but also helps with bicycle safety and traffic safety as well, as we've had some complaints recently about line of sight around some of these larger vehicles. The ordinance, I just said this, so I won't repeat, but I think one of the key things on this slide, I already made said most of these, but that last bullet point, that this ordinance would also help preserve available street parking for residents, but also as other cities around us start to adopt some of these requirements, and I think the county also just started not allowing trailers to be left in the unincorporated area. One thing that has come up since the time we brought this forward is that this also will help make sure that we don't just become a parking lot for other cities that aren't allowing these large vehicles to park anymore. So that's always a factor where sometimes we start seeing more of something because other cities aren't allowing it. So that was a new factor. So ultimately, we recommend adopting or introducing the ordinance tonight. It would have to come back for a second reading. and then during the time when it would go into effect, we also would then need to bring back a fee for the permit. So we haven't established that yet because we wanted to see if it would be adopted, but that would be a future item. So we recommend adopting or introducing the ordinance, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Does council have any questions? We're only going to take questions at this time. Comments will come later.
Okay.
Councilmember Lopez.
So if this gets adopted, what's the plan for public outreach and physical signage?
Yeah, one thing that we were going to actually recommend is having a educational period up front, and what we can do is we could put that together for the second reading and bring it back, but we'd anticipate having a period of education up front, a warning period before we start enforcing, and then eventually the enforcement. Just like everything else, the goal for us isn't to catch people and write a bunch of tickets. The goal for us is just to get compliance, so we try to come up with the first steps to do that.
So have we looked at the type of signs that we're going to post on those streets? Signage?
So I think in general, we don't necessarily need to install signage. It would just be that the oversized vehicle parking is not allowed within the city, but there are certain areas that we may want to look at posting signage, but the ordinance would apply whether it's signed or not.
The reason why I say that is because Ventura Road is the area where the staff report mentioned oversized vehicles.
And that's where the bike lanes are. Yeah.
So this has nothing to do with our residential areas, does it?
So this, as drafted, would apply to all city streets.
Okay.
The council could reduce it to just Ventura Road, but as we were looking, when we had talked previously with the council, I think the council at that time had said draft something and then bring it back. And so when we were drafting, we looked and saw that there were some other areas other than Ventura Road where we saw trailers left and campers left. So as drafted, we had anticipated that it would apply to all public streets.
Okay, so will this be a good time to direct the city attorney to clarify the definition of permit criteria before we adopt a permitting process? Because I'm reading the staff report, it's 90 days max. What happens if after 90 days you want another permit?
So as written, you'd have to reapply. They're meant only to be for limited purpose. It's not a permanent parking permit type of situation as written. That's not to say you can't do that. If you wanted to designate, just like you could for non-oversized vehicles, sometimes you have parking restrictions and permit parking for certain neighborhoods. It's just a different process, but as written, it's meant to prohibit any long-term parking, even under permit in the city, to keep those spaces available.
So have we, I know you said you're gonna come back with the cost of the permit.
Yeah.
And it seems like code enforcement will probably be, the task,
Parking enforcement, yeah.
Do we anticipate this having an issue with, writing tons of tickets?
The goal would not be to do that. And I think, as part of it, like I said, we'll come back with the plan for education, but I think amongst that, we'd obviously do our social media and all that, but I'd anticipate that we'd also give some warnings to people who are leaving their campers on city streets right now. I don't anticipate a ton of tickets. I think we've had some experience in the past with certain people. There's probably a few that I could probably point out that have refused to move their trailers, but I'll also say those are the ones we get the most complaints about. So there's a few of those that, would they move them with just a warning, or are they going to wait till they get a citation? So it's possible, but I don't anticipate. Our goal would not be to write a lot of tickets. Our goal would just be to get most people to realize that the public street is not a storage lot, And I will say, since the last time we brought this item to the council, I have actually talked to some of the people who have campers out on the streets, and a lot of them just say, I leave them there because no other city lets me do it, but you guys let me do it. So I think, it's one of those things where the word has to get out that we're not letting people do that, so.
I guess my only concern is like there are city-run or home-run businesses like plumbers who have big trucks in our neighborhoods, and they would be totally affected because these trucks are pretty big.
Yeah,
They
they're
meet that
oversized.
criteria.
Right.
So, okay, it's the only
Yeah.
questions I have.
And so they would be able to, and this is a good discussion because, I think with something like this, there may be unintended consequences, and so with someone like that, they would be able to park their vehicle on their property, but not on the city street. And so, you could argue, if you're that person, you could argue why that's not fair, but if you're the neighbor whose parking is taken up, which we actually have a couple complaints right now about some people who say their neighbors bring home all their business trucks and take up all the parking on the street. If you're the neighbor, you're asking for that. So it is, it is sort of that balance of which one. I think, like we said, with all the one of the things being the bicycle lane safety with just the large vehicles, but also just with the number of calls we get about the lack of parking, that, I think we argue that, trying something like this to see if that helps with those two things is worth doing. I will say, knowing that I think we're all sensitive to that, what we can do is as we do that educational process, if we start to get a lot of calls before we even get to ticketing of people who are upset, we could always bring it back to council and have another conversation, and that way there's this is a publicly noticed item, so we've notified the public, but if you're working 9 to 5 and you're running one of those businesses, you might not know this item's on the agenda, so we can always come back and have that conversation if we start hearing that consistently. So that's probably the biggest challenge that we'd anticipate is perhaps some of those people who are bringing their work trucks home.
Got it.
And traditional work trucks would be well below the thresholds here unless they have a trailer attached to them. So unless your work truck is a U-Haul size box truck type of situation, you're
that's
not
what
going to
we
be covered. This is not going to affect your standard plumbing, contractor, landscaper trucks, again, unless you have a trailer attached to it.
Got it.
Any other questions? Councilmember Gama?
So I think we already have in place a recreational vehicle ordinance where you need a permit where you could park it on the street for 3 days. Is that correct?
I'm not aware of a current permit process.
Pretty sure because my uncle complained bitterly to me
Yeah.
about getting a ticket for his RV that he put in front of his house for too long or something. So, and then the permit process. So I'm trying to get that through my head. So I think Ventura Road. I just think safety should be the number one priority. So I kind of question like, okay, so somebody could get a permit for Ventura Road. I don't know how that works with me. But definitely in the residential areas, somebody may have a motorhome and gets it out of storage and needs to put it in front of his house for a few days to take care of it. So I'm just wondering, is there a difference between residential and say Ventura Road
So
for permits?
for permits, there's 4 criteria, and number 2 applies to your comment. To get a permit, there's an application to the police department, and the applicant has to be a city resident, right? And that goes back to making sure that we're not just a parking lot for neighboring cities that aren't allowing them. But number 2, proposed permit location is not on a street adjacent to the applicant's resident. Number 3, an out-of-town visitor is not the applicant's guest. Or number 4, information submitted by the applicant is materially false. I'm sorry, those are, it's written in the negative. A permit won't be issued if those things aren't true. So in other words, so the permit has to be located near the residence, the permitted location. So when you ask the question of, so are we going to just let everybody park trailers on Ventura Road? The answer would be that we'd through the permit process, we would try to not have people parking on Ventura Road.
Okay.
So for example, you could have them park on, the side streets and things like that.
Yeah. So then my next question is, okay, so then I'm gonna move it to the Ralph's parking lot. Do we address that?
We would address
I
that.
know
if-
it's private property,
Yeah,
but
if,
we-
it's private property, so it'd be addressed by Ralph's Collin, basically.
so what's the protocol with Ralph said, hey, there's a guy in a motorhome that's been here for 3 days?
I don't know offhand, because it's not part of this item, but we can have the police department let us know what their protocol is. But this item is just related to public streets, not private property.
Okay, so I'm just a little concerned that, I don't see this as being a huge problem in our city. I know maybe there's a couple isolated instances, but if the event that somebody shows up and moves their RV into a parking lot, I would hope that we would try to redress
There's
that.
various ways that private entities handle that issue. The California Vehicle Code currently gives them certain rights. That's why you see them towing people that aren't allowed to be there and can control their parking spaces. If the people are present on the property, they can actually trespass them, and there's various ways they can do that, either through a letter with the city so that police can enforce it without them, or on site, if they're both there, they can ask them to leave, and if they don't leave, then they can be removed by local law enforcement as well. So there's different tools that local private entities have to enforce that on their private property, but we're just there to assist on the trespass situation.
Is there any, will there be an effort to maybe give some education out to property owner, parking lot owners?
To parking lot owners?
Well, just, hey, FYI, we're going to remove oversized vehicles from city streets. I know that in Ventura and Channel Islands, I know I've seen police officers move on RVs that have been in the parking lot.
Yeah, so
anyways.
as part of the outreach, we plan to do some various, social media posts and things like that, and then we can see if, probably talk to the police department about, as they're working with some of the shopping center owners, if they can message to them as well. So.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hearing is now, we'll
I
move
have
to,
one more.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I just came across this. On section 3D, it says the oversized vehicle parking permit shall be denied if the police chief finds that, and then there's the 4 criteria that you listed. Shouldn't that also include the police chief or designated representative?
Yes, and I think it does earlier in the ordinance.
Yes, it is. Number 6 up on the top of the page, additional
Yeah.
information of the police chief or designee.
Yeah.
So maybe that just needs to be corrected.
Yeah, so I think the intent, we wouldn't anticipate that it would be the chief doing it. It would be our traffic team.
Yeah.
So we'll be clear that it's the designee.
Yeah, every other place, I think it says it except there.
Okay,
Just to,
we'll review that and see if it needs added.
that's it.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Okay, we have one more question.
Yeah, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. So on the corner right here, we've all, I think, discussed about these shuttles.
Mhm.
I don't think they're 25 feet long. Would that,
They are over the height limit and I think width limit too.
so it's one or the other? It's not all three?
Any, yeah.
Or, yeah.
it
Okay,
exceeds
sorry.
any of those 3.
Okay, thank you.
So most pickup trucks aren't over 7 feet tall, but those shuttles are, yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on. The hearing is now open for public input. The time is 7:38. Are there any public comments regarding this item, Madam Clerk?
No public comments.
Okay, the hearing input has concluded. I will now close the public hearing. The time is still 7:38. So we have before us a recommendation to find the proposed ordinance exempt from the from CEQA guidelines, section 15061B3, and introduce for first reading by title only, waiving further reading, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Port Hueneme, California, amending Article 3, Chapter 3, Division 10 of the Port Hueneme Municipal Code to implement restrictions on parking of oversized vehicles. May I have a motion and a second?
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
I just want to be clear that this started with bicycle safety, and it is a public safety issue, specifically down Ventura Road. This should alleviate a lot of the parking that's within the city as well. We may take some public comments in the future about these oversized vehicles, but this is a good starting point, I think, for, thanks staff for that.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Great, thank you. If no one else, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Okay. Councilmember Gama,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Perez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Hernandez,
Yes.
and Mayor McQueen-Lejeune.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Great. We'll move to business item number 12, Veterans Banner Program Update and Approval of Initial Application and Banner Location. Will staff please present the report?
Yeah, and I think I'm just introducing our ad hoc committee. When the council approved the ad hoc committee earlier this year, it had authorized the committee to begin working on the banner program and to recommend applications that could be considered and locations. And so the committee is here tonight to make that recommendation to the council.
There was a PowerPoint.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys receive it?
Do you have it? No?
She could probably use her phone.
That makes. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Yeah, might have got blocked.
So good afternoon, Mayor, council members, staff, and residents. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a quick update on our banner program. And of course, this is a contribution between Ad Hoc and the REACH members. So just a quick update. We currently have 17 applications received, and we're very excited about that. We do have one that has not been vetted yet, some missing information, but there was one that we received after the agenda was issued to you all. So it's very exciting. We're hoping to receive more. We do have different information that will be going on the banner that includes their last name, first name, date entered into the service, and date exited, the branch of service, the location of the banner, and any special metal decorations they might have received, including we will also add their rank. So we wanted to show you just the different information we had on them. If you're interested in viewing that PowerPoint later, please let us know and we will get it to you as soon as we can. After all of you approve for us to purchase the first 17 banners, REACH will go ahead and process that. The turnaround would be 2 to 3 weeks from the first day of ordering. We do have locations also chosen for these 17 banners. We decided that it was important for them to be near either the address of the honoree or an importance of some of the individuals that were, presented by others. So for example, Master Orving Carpenter, we recommend that obviously he gets flagged by the community center. We also have a SW3 Knott. He was killed in action, and that is what the main Porwanimi gate for the base is named after by Sunkist. So his would fly there. We also have Chief Christian. That is where the post VFW is named after. So ideally, we would also want that banner to fly in that area. But most locations have already been vetted for those 17. Again, these are previous locations that were presented to you when we first initiated this, and Public Works had helped us with that information. And I want to make sure I give you all the correct information. Again, the standards of design are the name and rank, branch of service, year served. We will have the city emblem and any sponsorship, and of course, a thank you for your service. The actual material is heavy duty double face. It is a double strength, double construction design. There will be a CMYK digital printing for individuals that know exactly what that means, but it will be vibrant, long lasting color. We also have the size will be about 7 feet tall. There are hemmed edges with rolled reinforced pole sleeves, brass security garments for tethering to light poles, and it's designed for rain, wind, and sun exposure since Mother Nature likes to do what it wants to do. We also have the intent of having more applications received. Recently, the ad hoc committee, some of our members were able to walk around the town and distributed flyers. Hopefully some of you received it. And so we anticipate once our banners go up, there's more individuals being sponsored or giving themselves up for presentations. Any questions?
Yes, so, well, mine's more of a comment. I'll let you go.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Councilmember Gama.
Thank you. I just went through all the applications, and I thought for sure Robert Steetham would be nominated. He was a Port Hueneme CB who was killed in Beirut, and they named a ship after him. So having realized that he wasn't nominated, if I put an application for him?
Yes,
we could
please
do
put
that?
an application for him. So after our first meeting, we did go back as a team and discussed, and it was decided that if the individual that sponsors lives in Port Hueneme and it's someone significant historian to our city, we would approve that application. So if you would like to sponsor him, we would gladly accept that application.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just a couple of questions, and I
Yes.
think he just asked a question that made me want to ask this question. So are people allowed to nominate people that they haven't contacted their families or anything? They just nominate them themselves?
So ideally, they can nominate, but they do have to do that extra work. So there is some, from what we saw from the previous applications, there is some contact with the family because we do need the DD 214 and verification of the veteran. But of course, if maybe the families aren't ready to nominate, but there's someone close to them that does, that's how we had VFW nominate some of our individuals.
Great, thank you. Couple of questions. So you said they're going to be 7 feet tall?
Yes,
And how tall are the poles?
that is a great question.
36 feet,
Oh, they're,
something like that?
okay, good. Okay, right. And then when you say vetted, are you saying just by the DD 214?
So we sat down, we did review the DD 214. If there was any questions that maybe, because the branches and then the years that have passed that we weren't unable to validate, we also went into looking into history and things like that, just to make sure we were all making the right choice and we were all on board with the veterans that were being.
Okay. Last question.
Yes.
So some of the photos, I heard you say the photos will be vibrant. Some of the photos
Yes.
are black and white that I saw in the package. So how are those going to be turned into color when you say they're going to be vibrant? What does that mean?
Well, they're based on the quality of that image.
Yeah.
It's up to it's called the Flag Company. They're gonna try to
And
edit that picture.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, also when I meant the digital printing, I meant the whole banner as a whole, not just the picture. So that's where the vibrant color will stand out. In the previous presentation, we showed you what the banner would look like, and there was blue and red that would be standing now, and then also white. So we want to make sure all those colors stand out.
And then Councilmember Lopez, your comment was about using digital technology to make the pictures as clear as they can be. Okay, got it. Thank
Correct. Some of the pictures that as I was part of the committee, just providing a little rudder, a lot of the pictures were pictures of the picture, because the family didn't have any digital pictures. So to the best of the ability of the Veterans Ad Hoc and some of REACH staff, we tried to get those pictures digitized.
Good. Okay, that was mine. Did you
And-
have any questions?
I had one question. When do we get to see a mock-up, or was that something you were going to show us tonight?
No, not tonight. We don't have a mock-up. I think after we are able to submit the first order and we get approval, then we can release the information to the company and they could start sending us drafts.
Okay, great, thank you.
Back to the photos. So vibrant background, and then I guess the photos will follow the same format. And so many of the photos that I've seen are black and white.
Yes.
So if somebody submits a color photo, then it would probably, because I imagine that all the photos will be a standardized digital version, right?
Correct. But it'll be obviously what is submitted, which is either in color or black or white.
So that's something that you can take back and
And
say.
play around and
if
discuss
you
and
want-
see.
If we want those black and whites in color, that's something that they could.
We can, with technology nowadays, we can see how we can turn that around.
I know, my dog could surf.
Okay, any other questions? Are there? go ahead.
Can I just note, just so everybody, to make sure everybody saw it, so we did send out a revised item for this after the original agenda went out, but before the 72-hour deadline that has, I think it was a full 16 applications. So I just want to make sure everybody, okay, saw that and is aware of that. So.
So, I know we're in questions right now, but I do have, it is a question. So the late Tony Vellante, his application came in after the agenda was written. The Veterans Ad Hoc did review that application, and it does meet the criteria. It'd be up to the council to include in this package Mr. Vellante's application, to approve his banner application.
Yeah, and we got that into the packet too, so it was published online and for the public and everything, so the council could.
So just to be clear, there was
to approve all
16
those.
of 17, one got rejected.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Great. So we have, any other comments? Any other comments? Nope. Okay. We have before us a recommendation to consider approving the banner display locations and the initial banner application review and recommended by the Veterans Advisory Ad Hoc Committee. May I have a motion and a second to approve?
So moved?
Second.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, and thank you for the update. Thank you. Okay, item number 13, a reorganization of the Community Development Department and resolution amending the salary schedules for the Management and Service Employees International Union employee groups to support the recommended changes. Staff, please
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
present the report.
Yes. And this is one of those ones where the staff report, because we have to write very technical reports, sometimes the staff reports end up sounding a lot more complicated than what we're actually trying to do. I think if you recall, essentially what we're doing today is trying to really implement what we had already discussed previously. If you recall, in the past, we had a community development director, and then directly reporting to the director, we had a manager, or even before that, there were 2 managers. And then essentially 3 staff people within the department, being the planner, the technician, and the code enforcement officer. And so we talked about, as part of last year's budget, and trying to sort of right-size the organization and make sure that we have a balanced budget moving into the future. We had talked about potentially restructuring a little bit and being able to eliminate one mid-manager position, but then spread those duties across the rest of the people in the department, and then give those people additional opportunities for career growth to take on new tasks, basically. And so this item implements that, because we had the retirement of the community development director and also the community development manager. And so we're able to have that opportunity to sort of make that switch. So this item, in short, reinstates the community development director by eliminating the community development manager, and then makes minor changes to the job descriptions and salary schedules for the remaining 3 employees, which would be the planner taking on additional duties to become a senior planner, the technician taking on additional duties to become a senior technician, and then the code enforcement officer is already a senior officer, but this would just be a minor modification for some additional duties and a slight salary adjustment. In short, it results in one less employee in the department, which it's always a challenge to do more with less, but with a relatively small department, we believe that this is the best path forward. And so I didn't go by the PowerPoint at all, I guess. I just realized. I just started talking. Yeah, I just started talking. I think I covered it all. It was a great PowerPoint, too. Yeah. The other key point is, and again, like I said, the technical part of it is, the planner becomes the senior planner. So we have it listed here as creating new positions, but it's not, there are no new bodies. And in fact, it's the one less body of the recent retiree, but it's new opportunities for those existing positions. But also we're starting to look to the future and look for more opportunities to have interns. And so also included in this is the ability to have a part-time community development intern in the future. Typically with summer coming up, it's the right time to do that. And then all 4 of the staff members within the department would report to the director moving forward, and it results in savings. Because the director position had been frozen previously, this year it's minor savings, but in the future it would be significant savings by having just the director rather than the director and manager. And so both Frank and Tricia are here as well to answer any questions, but I promised them that I would do the presentation. So
Okay, thank you.
I could tell everybody's like eager for me to stop talking so they could start talking, but that wasn't the plan.
Are there any questions?
I have questions.
Council Member Gama, then.
I was going to make a comment.
Okay, question. Go ahead, Councilmember Lopez.
Yeah, so have we got any feedback from the residents and contractors who are actually doing business within the city about our planning department hours of operation? I mean, I see stuff on social media. I just want to know if it's coming back to staff at all.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. For the record, I'm Tricia Meyer, the Community Development Director. So I've been here about 2 months now, and I can say that it seems to be working well as far as the hours of operation. So I have not personally been aware of any complaints from residents that have been coming in related to the timing. We are still, of course, answering phone calls, and when people come in and it's after those hours, we're still working with them. So it's not as if we're turning them away because they didn't realize that the counter was going to be closed at 1:30. We're still working with them. So it hasn't seemed to have been an issue. And it does allow staff, now that we have fewer people out there, it does allow them to really focus on a lot of the online requests and inquiries that are coming in, because there has been a shift to moving towards online, away from the counter work. And so they have more uninterrupted time that they can actually do that.
Awesome. That was the only question.
Great. Any other questions?
Yes, I
Go right
had a
ahead.
couple of questions that I submitted today, and thank you, Mr. City Manager, for getting back to me on, I think I just misread one of the position descriptions, but the Community Development Director in particular states that they will be responsible for overall leadership and oversight. Are they actually managing staff? They are the director of this department, this particular
Yes.
position, so they'll be doing performance evaluations and.
Yeah, and professional development and mentoring, which are really important, especially as we're developing our staff. So that's something that I'm very passionate about and have a lot of ideas about.
Great, I'd love to hear that. And then one of the issues I've always grappled with, and I hear it from businesses, is the permitting process. Will this reorganization in any way improve the length of time it takes to process a permit in our city?
So I don't think the intent necessarily was to decrease the amount of time. It is creating some efficiencies, though, that may have that effect. We actually, from my perspective, coming from the county of Ventura, we actually are processing permits fairly quickly here, given the volume that's coming in and the number of staff that we have. I think that there's going to be less when you don't have more of this hierarchical structure with someone in between where you're waiting for things to go back and forth. It is just more of a flow that happens and that makes things, move a little bit quicker. I'm, as I mentioned, relatively new here, and you know that. And so I will be looking at ways that we can increase efficiency, the ways that we can maybe get more information available to the public so they can look things up on our website without having to wait for staff to get back to them. So I'm looking at a lot of those things at one time as I'm settling in here.
I appreciate that. What I hear is anecdotal, but, some businesses that are just opening up, I'll ask the question, how was the permitting process? How long did it take this? Well, it took years. And to me, that I don't know why, but I don't know if it was on our end or their end. But for years, it seems to always been an issue with businesses. So I'm happy to hear, that you're looking at that and looking at ways to improve in that area. So
Absolutely, we can always improve.
yeah, thank you.
Great. I just wanted to say thank you because I had a question myself about someone who said it had been over a year. And when you all were able to send me the actual screens from the from the actual system, and I could see it had only been days or weeks. And I was able to then go back and say, no, it hasn't been that. It's only here. I have the documentation. I'm looking at it right now. So that was very helpful. And we were talking about myself personally. I didn't know that it happened in a system the way it does. I actually thought people were coming here and giving paperwork, but to see that it's an automated system and it's happening pretty quickly was valuable to know, just as feedback to give when residents communicate to you.
I'd like to see that. Maybe I don't know if council's interested in seeing that, but either setting up an appointment to sit down with you and you could just walk me through it real quickly, or maybe present. Do it
We can
for
do a
all of us so we can get
presentation
a
or
better
something.
understanding of how the permit system works.
Yeah, and I think if we can look at doing something like that. We were talking about maybe trying to do some sort of orientation type thing, but I will say, and this actually has nothing to do with me because I'm going to say even before I arrived here is everybody always hates the permit process they have to go through, but it's sort of generally known in the county that Port Hueneme is actually one of the faster, easier permitting processes. I come from the prior cities that probably have the exact opposite reputation of having the most long, complicated, costly permitting processes. But we have a pretty smooth, pretty quick one. But I think a lot of it is just like showing people how it works, and even just some of the things it's funny. Somebody mentioned a post, but I know there was a post recently, seeing it as a negative that we were offering online services, whereas that's actually a goal that all cities are striving for, is that offering online services so that people can can go through those processes faster and easier. So we were talking recently about maybe doing something like some kind of overview or orientation, so we can schedule something like that.
I think that's great. I would look forward to that. I think as we move forward in our economic development initiatives and our planning, that being business friendly is just, this is one of those things that demonstrates that we are a business friendly city. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
And I think I just want to say this. I'm not telling on anyone, but I think one of the things that I learned is that it wasn't so much as the person had submitted to the city. They were actually in communication with a contractor who was responsible for doing that. So they assumed that it was being done in a timely manner, and it was really about the contractor maybe taking a little more time to do the permitting request than just us.
We hear that pretty frequently, and I think in Southern California, I think there's a shortage of contractors, and therefore they might be doing more than they meant to take on, and then somebody gets shuffled or dropped to the end of the list, and then it's easy to just say the city's holding us up.
Right.
But we hear that pretty frequently.
Mayor, I got a question.
Okay,
Go ahead.
go right.
So as we're moving to online permitting, one of my neighbors asked this question and I really couldn't answer. if he submitted an application, a permit for a garage sale that would say on a Thursday night, but staff is off on a Friday for that particular weekend, and he submits the application, but it's not approved because staff wasn't working, what happens?
So let me just clarify. So if someone were to submit an application for a garage sale happening the next day or over that weekend,
Yeah.
and nobody was there, right, we wouldn't be able to approve it until we came back into the office.
So if they did the garage sale and code enforcement shut them down for not having a permit, but they paid for it online, what kind of conflict with that?
So currently, there's no code enforcement that's going out over the weekend to check on garage sales.
There has been in the past.
But currently, there wouldn't be.
Currently, there isn't.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Are we to comments or
But
questions?
if I could just note
Go right
that, I would say, maybe we don't have this, maybe as we do the online. I'm trying to remember if we do, but as we do online, we probably should make clear of, even the bigger cities, Oxnard with I always like to remind people of the scale. Our budget's $28 million and Oxnard's 400 and something million. And then the county where Tricia just came from, $2 billion budget, right? So even in those agencies, you say, submit this many days ahead of time, and you actually probably get it faster here than you would get it in Oxnard. I know when I was in Oxnard years ago, I think they were 6 weeks minimum. so we're typically much faster than that. But yes, so there's always that possibility if somebody waits till the last minute. We might, if we don't, we can look at that and maybe on the web portal, remind people to submit, X many days in advance to give time for staff to review it. So,
Okay, so let's, do we have any public comments, Madam Clerk?
No public comments.
Okay, is there a motion and a second to approve this item?
Move to approve.
Second?
Great.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Yeah.
You said you had discussion. Go
I
ahead.
did. I'm sorry for throwing you off.
No, that's okay.
So I just want to highlight 30 years of what I've seen at the counter. And I don't want to disparage anybody, but I do want to say that I have seen less than professional customer service at the community development counter. And it really, friendly city by the sea. And I'm like, what? And I've had issues, years ago where the customer service, it wasn't the permit, it was the service that was irritating. And I just want to say that I find you very, very skilled communicator. And sitting down for the first time and speaking to us, I feel like that's going to make a huge difference at the counter and when it comes to customer service. Because over the years, I've seen people with blueprints in their hand trying to get in there, and then to find out they're closed on Friday. And then, you'll see that person come again, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to lunch, and so just really would, I look forward to, and I've seen some of the counter presence since you've been here, and I know it's only been a short amount of time, and I do believe that you are making a very impactful difference in the area of customer service.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Okay, let's see, request. Thank you. I would say thank you for the report, but.
yeah, sorry, I wouldn't stop talking.
Thank you, James, for the report. Okay, so, sorry about that.
Future agenda.
Yeah, future agenda items, we have one item by Mr. Gama. So as a reminder, this time is for clarification only, so the council and staff clearly understands what is being requested, not for an in-depth discussion or debate. After clarification, the council will vote on whether to direct staff to place the item on a future agenda item. Councilmember Gama?
Yeah, we've heard from 2 residents in a public comment regarding a left turn arrow on the north-south directions on Ventura Road at Wainimi Road. And having trafficked that area for many years, it is a little odd that the east-west the east-west has an arrow. No, I got it wrong. North-south has the arrow and the east-west doesn't. And I don't understand the logic of that, but it seems to me that it would be better served if all four directions had an arrow. And then we've heard from Thomas Morris. He was in one of the accidents, and he said he has witnessed a couple accidents. And I can tell you that it's a really busy intersection at peak port traffic times, and so it just seems to me in the name of safety that whatever reason was to put the north-south left arrow turn, that it might be the same reasons for the east-west. So safety.
Can I just add a little bit of
Yes.
information? I did want to correct, I think in the last meeting, we had some speakers who commented on this, and then I gave, off the top of mind, a quote, or a cost estimate that ended up being for the intersection, the next intersection. So I just wanted to correct that and then also provide some more information. But I had said that the light change estimate for that intersection was $700,000, but that was incorrect. This intersection is actually $350,000. The $700,000 estimate was actually the Hueneme and Surfside intersection, which we looked at both of those. But the good news is that we already are working on a partnership with the port to explore and apply. We've already applied for the grant that was approved by council for funding for Hueneme Road improvements. Now, the lights weren't necessarily part of the ones that we've applied for so far, but we could try to build it in because we're planning to work with them and apply for more grants. And without getting too into the weeds, we applied for one grant. It was kind of the first one that opened, but we think there's a better chance with a couple grants coming up. That was kind of the long shot just to get an application in. But we think there's going to be a couple, so we could either build this into that, or even if we got one of the grants, and like if we got the grant where we didn't build something like this in, just that grant covering other costs could allow us to have a conversation about then funding these. So as far as the partnership with the port for improvements to Hueneme and Ventura roads, we're already, like, the good news is we're working on that, right? And so I just met with the port last week, and we talked about a grant coming up that we are looking to apply for more Hueneme Road funding. So we're going to continue to work on that. And so I just wanted to provide that update.
Great. Have any questions?
No, I guess as a question, so I guess that means then a future agenda item isn't necessarily necessary by what you're saying.
I think you could wait and see if, if we don't get a grant, then we'd have to have a further conversation. Or the other thing would just be when CIP comes up, it could be talked about further. So I think we could see how this grant goes, and then in the next month or two, we'll know if an item would need to be necessary.
So then I guess it's up to you, Mr. Gama, whether you want to continue on with your request.
I would like to, you gave a lengthy staff report right now, which if it was on the agenda, I imagine you would give as well. So I'm a little confused on that. But I would like to understand the logic, the reasoning for Surfside and Hueneme Road for doing all four directions, arrows, left-hand turn arrows, and then why at this intersection it's only north-south.
So
I'm trying to understand the logic.
Item
that's
than
a different
this.
topic.
This was
So-
talking about a partnership with the port to
Yes.
fund improvements.
Okay, well,
Okay.
is there a reason though? I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Okay, so can we just go ahead and take the vote?
Sure.
Well, I just want to say that I think, we've seen accidents, we've seen safety, and if you're satisfied, I just want more information, and I know you guys are going to vote this down, that's fine, but I'd like to see more information, like what's the reasoning? Let's improve safety. Let's respond to some legitimate concerns.
I have a question for the city attorney. So will we be able to have a discussion after the normal motion and a second like we generally would do
Yeah.
for this item? Okay, let's do that then. Is there a motion and a second to approve this item?
For purposes of further discussion, I'll do a
based-
motion to approve.
Pardon me?
Yes, I'll do a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Are we not falling back into that trap now? We're going to discuss an item, which this is for a future agenda, and yet we're discussing it and we're deciding it.
No, but we were able to take questions to decide so that we have enough information to actually make a decision.
So, yeah, under the new process, we have now told the public we are considering whether to place this on an agenda, so questions can be asked to determine what would be included in a future agenda or whether to include it in a future agenda.
All right? Okay. No further discussion, sorry.
I thought we'd take the vote.
Now we have discussion.
No, we,
Oh, okay.
after,
So I have discussion is, if this does pass, we should have the plan B should be a CIP, plan C, maybe a digital, like a camera, a warning camera. I don't know.
Okay.
Just my comment.
did you have any discussion? Yeah, I just wanted to say, my question was to see if the city manager would be having this conversation, and it sounds like he is having the conversation already.
Yep.
And so that's kind of what I was thinking in the first place.
Yeah, so we've had the conversations with the port and the council, and I believe the port board as well, both approved partnering on applying for funding for improvements to Hueneme Road.
Okay, great.
But it doesn't include lights.
It could.
It could potentially.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Okay, and sorry, just to confirm, this is for you to
Add it to the
okay.
agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay, motion passes 3-2 with Mayor Pro Tem Hernandez and Mayor McQueen-Lejeune voting no.
Okay. All right. Next item is city manager comments. Over to you.
Okay. So we had a couple of things we wanted to highlight. First, we wanted to thank everybody for coming out to the citywide spring cleanup event that was on April 25th. We actually, with thanks to Fred Camarillo and Rick Cervantes, we got some additional data where on the event, and we collected a total of over 26 tons of waste, and a couple hundred, over 200 vehicles participated in dropping off trash, and pretty evenly across the 3 locations. The beach was the most popular, but each of them had significant participation. And then we want to thank the 20 staff who participated and helped make it happen across the 3 locations, including a special thanks to our Explorers team and Officer Henry Montalongo, who helped coordinate the Explorers for the event. And then we mentioned here that about 10 pallets of mulch were given away. That's about 600 bags of compost, and that's actually a requirement under state law now that we have to distribute mulch and composting material, so that helps us meet those state requirements. So we thank everybody for their help in making this event a success. Second, we wanted to, I think we reminded everybody last meeting, but one more reminder, because it's coming up, that the Coffee with the City will occur on Wednesday, May 13th from 9 to 10 a.m. at Anna Cappuccino. And we invite everybody to stop by and participate. And then another event coming up towards the end of the month is our Memorial Day ceremony. And so we have are thanking Chief Staff Officer Captain Andy Littorell from Naval Base Ventura County, who will be our keynote speaker. And we'll hold our Memorial Day ceremony and our annual paddle out at the pier on May 25th at 8:30 a.m. And then I believe this is the last item today. The 2026 Hueneme Hero Award nominations are now open and open until May 22nd. So a couple more weeks here for people to nominate this year's hero. So information is at the website on the slide on screen. Oh, I had one more item. Beach Fest on July 11th to 12th, or July 11th and 12th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And more timely, more important right now is the community poster contest is open and can be entered by 5 p.m. on May 29th. So high school, junior, and elementary's prizes. So we encourage everybody to apply and enter a poster by May 29th. And then the upcoming agenda, we expect to have Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month proclamation, the National Public Works Week proclamation and annual update. And then on consent, we will have the resolution for the election process to begin. It's that time of year, or that time of every couple of years. We're bringing forward a skip loader purchase that's used for beach and sand maintenance, and so we'll have more information on that. For public hearings, we have an annual vacancy report, which is that new requirement by state law that the city needs to provide an annual vacancy report. So we'll be bringing that forward. A Police Explorer car show permit will be coming to the council. And then for a business item, it will be the water master plan presentation, which I think that water master plan has been long awaited by community members. So we're going to give a presentation and overview on that project. So that's what's on schedule for May 18th. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the city manager?
I have one question. The proposed RDP, or the RDP that went out for the RDP that went out for the camps.
RFP.
RFP. I've got RDP on the brain. The RFP that went out for the campsite location, the tiny homes, trailer park. When are we going to hear back on that?
It's probably going to be a while. I think there's still a couple months left on the RFP, and then that's one that we'd expect if we get a proposal that it may take a few weeks to work through it on top of that. So it's probably still.
Received anything?
I don't think we've received anything yet. Yeah, okay. So it's probably still a couple months out.
Okay,
so.
great. Thank you.
Great. We'll go to Councilmember Lopez.
Yeah, I want to thank city staff for the spring cleanup event, Earth Day. It was well executed. I took a truckload just to try it out, and I will say it was well run. Staff was very pleasant. Rick Cervantes was at the Park Avenue site and got to chit chat with staff. Everybody that participated was happy. So it was good to see our neighborhoods doing some spring cleanup. It was a good event. So make sure you thank staff, please. I want to thank Reach and the Veterans Ad Hoc to getting us to the finish line on these banners. It's been a lot of meetings. I know that was our third meeting on the banner program. So it was a lot of hard work done by Reach and the Veterans Ad Hoc. So thank you guys for that, and that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Perez.
I'm just going to ask if James is okay.
Those new glasses. Yeah, the spring cleanup was amazing. Speaking for parking lot B, I think they removed 6 or 7 dumpsters. I don't know what happened over there on Park Avenue, but the amount of participation was great. And I've been holding on to like 6 surfboards forever, and I let them go, and I kind of was sad, and I saw a lot of people who were sad, but at the same time, getting the courage to throw stuff away is really good, but it's a lot. How many total dumpsters was it at the 3 locations? Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, the beach did, I think, 6 on their own. Wow. Anyways, great job, staff. That was a really good deal. Attended the Volante funeral with both Martha and Laura, and it was a beautiful service and such a wonderful person and career here in the city of Port Hueneme. I got to participate. I was sad. I was wondering why I wasn't going to do the Take 5 reading, and then I realized that I had a conflict, and I had career day at EO Green, so that took care of my sadness, because Take 5 is really fun. It really is. And so on May 1st, I spent the day at EO Green and did 5 presentations, and it was just a blast. It was so fun, talking about port careers, risk management, and the like. I also went to the Army Corps of Engineers meeting at Hollywood Beach regarding dredging, and what I learned. Kristen Dacus was there. 3 other port employees were there, and a bunch of Hollywood residents were there, and they were, it's almost got to bitter complaining, but they were complaining about the noise from the dredge. And it was quite remarkable, because on the other side is our city and our need for the sand, and there's noise issues over here. But anyways, so the Army Corps of Engineers was there, and there was a couple crazy ideas that came out, like, why don't you take $5 million of the dredge money and spend it on silencing equipment? And I'm like, wait a minute. So anyways, I think what I've learned is we got a lot of work to do on education. Went to the VC Board of Supervisors meeting specifically to listen in on e-bikes and proposing legislation that's coming, and it's coming. And one of the things that I've learned is e-bikes are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. But e-moto bikes are not street legal. And so we need to educate parents, because sometimes parents are buying e-motos, which are basically a motorcycle, and it's not an e-bike at all, and it's not street legal. And we're seeing these all over the streets, all over the parks. And these things there's some very specific criteria when a electric thing becomes an e-moto versus an e-bike. And then so there's people out there that are packaging e-motos to look like e-bikes, like putting a sprocket on it. And so there's a lot of things that cities are learning. Best practices are coming out of a city like Camarillo's taking a lead. There's other cities in the state, but everybody's having a problem with e-bikes. And so I was thinking about maybe going to VCOG, and I'm going to, and make a public comment, and just because it seems to me that it might be a good project for VCOG, the Ventura Council of Governments, to just try to get all the cities in the county on the same page when it comes to e-bikes. And this Hueneme artwork here is inspiration, super nice, and I appreciate the effort that went into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Both the mayor and I attended the RDP trip. I get to say RDP. RDP trip in Washington, D.C. I think all the meetings went extremely well. Definitely a lot of changes by the administration. Everybody's supportive of the concepts and the ideas and the projects. It's just funding next year is questionable. But otherwise, I think you will agree that they were very empathetic and understanding of the needs that the base has, and I think we were well represented. I did do the first 5 kickoff and first 5 reading with Hueneme Elementary across the street. A lot of fun. Those little chairs are not fun to sit in. Yeah. Plus, I had a bad knee throughout the DC trip, so it didn't help my knee much. There is a Bubbling Springs cleanup coming up. Surfrider Foundation is hosting it on May 16th. We're moving inland to do a cleanup so the trash doesn't end up on the beach and get to where Gama's groups do the cleanup. So I think that's going to be a great endeavor if we can get some people out there for that. That'd be great. Tomorrow I'll be attending the Port World Trade Day and then the Bard dedication, the Bard Park. I don't think they're going to have the monument, but that's at 2:30. So I think it'd be nice to have some city representation there to support the Bard family. Then I'm off to the SCAG Regional Conference in Palm Desert for the rest of the week. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I attended my meetings last month and so far this month. As Mayor Pro Tem said, we participated in the RDP DC trip, and it was, I think we left feeling that it was a success, so that was really good. I participated along with the VCTC group as the chair, the Ventura County Leadership Academy, and your name came up. I understand you graduated. Did you go to the academy? So it's nice to have, I was kind of debating whether I wanted to do it or not, and they said your name, and I said, well, yeah, maybe I can do it. So that was really nice. It was the first time I'd been there, and so they made the, I think they had 5 or 6 different annual awards they provided, and so it was nice seeing all the folks there and hearing more about it. I will be sitting on a panel on Friday, the Rise and Thrive Women of Influence event being held by the Women's Council of Realtors of Ventura County. And so that'll be Friday, so looking forward to doing that. I was at EO Green along with Councilmember Agama. I was in Miss Gonzalez's class, 2 8th grade classes, and we made a connection. She has 2 children that we talked about was Carlos and Aurelia Gonzalez. They both participated in the Junior Life Guard program for 12 years. And Aurelia just got hired. She's 16 years old, and she got hired as a Hueneme Beach Guard. So it was nice. She was excited that we were, Port Hueneme was represented there and really was excited about the program and telling the story of her children. It was a lot of fun. And again, I did go to Mr. Volante's memorial, and I will be going to the port's dedication of the Bard Monument. And so that's what I have. Does anybody have anything else? No? If there is nothing else, we will adjourn a regular meeting at 8:32, and we'll be back here Monday, May 18th at 6:30 p.m.